This 10-minute movement snack is about glide. What you'll need is a towel folded up to protect your knee for one or two of these exercises, and if you have it, a tennis ball. I'm using a spiky massage ball. We're only using this for a very short amount of time, so if you don't have one, don't worry, it won't take away from the practice. You just skip those ones. I'm going to put the ball down. Come to standing. As always, close or downturn your eyes. Go inside your body to feel for any sensations that are in there. It is the assessment at the start and the assessment at the end that actually adds value to your practice. So, can you feel your heart beat? Can you feel your breath coming into your body? If you can, note how far into your body you can feel your breath. Bring your attention to the sole of your left foot and the sole of your right foot, your left knee and your right knee, your left hip and your right hip, your low back, your chest, your shoulders, your neck. Note any sensations. Do they feel bright or dark, light or heavy, solid or fluid, tingling or dull? Are there any issues of tension in any of those parts of your body right now? Inhale, take your hands out and up. Exhale, take your hands out and down. Note the sensations that happen under your skin, in your bones, in your ribs, in your tummy, in your back, in your neck, as you take your arms up and down. Nod your chin towards your chest and roll yourself off an imaginary wall behind you. Stop before your fingers touch the floor. Breathe in. As you breathe out, roll yourself back up again, noting what your back body feels like, your left leg, your right leg, your shoulders, your neck. Last one. Remember, this is an assessment tool, not a movement tool. It's about noting rather than doing. Stop before your fingers touch the floor, and then roll yourself back up again, one vertebra at a time. Take your right foot onto the ball and begin to press and release your foot into the ball. So you're squeezing the ball by moving your foot so that where you're squeezing the ball has an impact on different parts of your foot as you do that. Pay particular attention to the knuckle of your big toe. Pay particular attention to your inner arch. So I have to turn my foot out a little bit. Pay particular attention to the heel of your foot, the whole circle or semicircle of the heel. It's like a horseshoe, so make sure you get the whole lot of it. You could even lift your foot and press in there. And pay particular attention to the outer arch from your heel to your little toe. Then lift your heel and press your toes into the ball and the ball of your foot. Try to get a pressure going down between where the toes finish and the foot starts, getting the ball or the pressure of the ball in there. From here, come to sitting. You have choices here. You can sit on a chair, or you can sit with one leg out, and I'm staying on the right side, the right heel into the groin. Or if you're able to, you can sit in the full mermaid. This is quite tough on this hip. So instead of sitting in the full mermaid, what you can do is just put your knees on top of each other. If that's still a little bit too much, sit cross-legged. So you have choices on a chair. Your right heel in. Your right heel in and your left heel behind you. Your right heel in and your left knee on top, or cross-legged, whatever suits you today. The ball goes in underneath your sit bone and then out a little bit. So your sit bone is the bone at the bottom of your pelvis. There's my skeleton there. The bone at the bottom of your pelvis, but it's hard to balance there. So you just let the ball pull the flesh out just a little bit. So where the ball is outside the sit bone, not inside the sit bone. Don't worry if you don't have a ball. it's no problem at all. Sit in those positions anyway and do the gliding exercises with us. The ball is under the right hip. Lift your right hand. Get taller. Feel your hip dropping down into the ball or the floor if you don't have the ball, and your right hand lifting, and then come into just a very small side bend, so only about 10 degrees. So we're not looking for big yoga bends. It's more about a little bit of tension going into the side of your ribs. From here, reach further, drop further into the ball. Keep your body where it is and begin to draw a big arc with your hand so that your arm is the only thing that moves, making this big arc through the sky. Your hand comes down over your nose, your arm comes down over your nose, your hand traces that big arc. Bring your hand back up to where it was. Now just look down to the hand that's on the floor, and then look up to the hand that's up in the ceiling. Look down to the hand that's on the floor. Look up to the hand that's up in the ceiling. We're going to add the two of those together. Let the arm start the arc. The arm wants to move towards the floor, then follow it with your nose, then follow it with your ribs. Let the hand come to the floor, your nose points down, your ribs are twisted towards the ground. Let the arm lead the arc back up. When it reaches there, follow it with your nose, then follow it with your ribs and lift your breastbone up to the ceiling. The arm leads the arc down. When the arm passes your face, let your face follow. Let your ribs follow. So it's a gliding movement or motion through the tissue of your ribs. The hand lifts up, then the face follows, then the breastbone follows. Scrape your fingernails off the wall, bring yourself all the way back up to sitting. Remove the ball, come to all fours, but with one leg out. I'm keeping my right leg out, we're staying on the right side. So my right foot is out, my right toes are pointing forwards. As I exhale, I tuck my tail and I move myself back just a little bit towards my back foot. As I inhale, I change the way my spine is by lifting my tail, lifting my breastbone and moving myself forwards beyond my wrists. I tuck my tail, this is called cat, and I move back. I lift my tail and my breastbone, this is called cow, and I move forwards. I tuck my tail into a cat as I move back. I lift as I move forwards. I tuck into a cat as I move back. As long as there are no bone density issues, you can then roll yourself up to a high kneeling position. If there are bone density issues, you're going to move your hands back towards your knee, then put your hands on your hips and lift yourself up to high kneeling. Whatever way you get there, no problem whatsoever. You're going to then take your right foot forwards, and this is called 90-90 kneeling. There's a 90-degree angle at your right knee. Press your back foot into the floor to make sure that your pelvis is facing forwards, and then shift your weight so that your left hand comes to the floor. Draw another big arc along the floor so that your left hand is outside your left knee. Remember, if this is too much, you can put your hand on blocks, or you can put your hand on the wall, or you can put your hand on some books, or even on your desk. So my right knee is forwards, my left hand is out beside my left knee, and we're going to do those big gliding movements again. The hand does the work first of all, and only the hand. Let's just do two of those just to get familiar with the feeling of just the arm doing the work. Now the head. Just turn the head and then back up. Then the arm leads, followed by the head, followed by the ribs. The arm leads the arc back up, followed by the head, followed by the ribs, and again, the arm makes that big round movement, followed by the head, followed by the ribs. You should feel this along here, along your back. Hand leads the movement, followed by the head, followed by the breastbone. Hand leads the movement, followed by the head, followed by the breastbone. Then walk your hands so that they're halfway between your 2 feet. Press your hands into the floor, press your right foot into the floor, and just begin to move towards your right foot and back. You don't have to straighten the leg, but I want your hands to stay on the floor. And this should also feel a bit gliding underneath your ribs. Come to all fours, halfway through assessment, come to standing, close your eyes or down, turn, notice what that side feels like in comparison to the other. Can you feel your breath more easily in one side of your body than the other? Can you feel your breath more deeply in one side of your body than the other? What does your right foot feel like in comparison to your left? Right knee in comparison to your left? Back body and front body. Let's do the other side. So left foot onto the ball. First of all, press and release. Trying to get into all areas of the ball, or all areas of the foot, excuse me. Pay particular attention to the knuckle of your big toe and your inner arch. Pay particular attention to your heel. You can spend more time on this than I'm spending right now. Pay particular attention from the heel to your little toe. It's an arch of your foot as well. It's the external arch or the lateral arch. Then lift your heel and press and release into your toes, into the area between your toes and your foot, into the ball of your foot, and then you can freestyle if you want and roll your foot over the ball. You can spend more time on this if you wish. Come to sitting. Once again, you have choices. You can take your right heel in. The ball is going under your sit bone and out a little bit. Left heel in, the right leg can stay out there. If you're able to, you can sit in the full mermaid, where I take the right heel to the back of the right hip, or just stack your knees over each other, or sit cross-legged, or sit on a chair. It's no problem whatsoever. If you don't have the ball, don't worry about it, do the exercise anyway. So the ball is on the sit bone, and then I shift over so that the ball is outside the sit bone. I drop down into the ball, I lift up into the hand. So my left sit bone is going down, my left arm is going up, and I come into a tiny little side bend. Really not too much pressure on this hand that's on the floor. You don't want to collapse into it. Breathe into your ribs here. First of all, let the hand make the arc. We're only going to do one prep of each. So one hand arc, and then let your nose come to the floor and lift back up. One of those. Now let's go for the full version. So the hand leads the movement, followed by the nose, followed by the ribs. Both hands are on the floor. The arm leads the movement, back up to the ceiling, followed by the nose, followed by the ribs. And again, the hand leads the movement down to the ground, making a big arc, followed by the nose, followed by the ribs. The hand leads the movement, followed by the nose, followed by the ribs. Last one. Hand, nose, ribs. Hand, nose, ribs. Scrape your fingernails off an imaginary ceiling and wall. Come up. Stay here for a moment in your original start position. Get rid of the ball. Come to all fours. The left leg is out. The toes are pointing forwards. We're doing a cat and a cow. We're doing a cat. We move halfway back. We're doing a cow position and we move beyond our wrists forwards. Breathe out to move back in a cat. Breathe in, move forwards in your cow. Keep your foot planted on the floor. Breathe out to move back. Breathe in to move forwards. Breathe out to move back. If you have any bone density issues, you're going to walk your hands back. If you don't have any bone density issues, just wait until your hands become a little bit lighter and roll yourself up to a high kneeling position. Make sure your pelvis is facing forwards. Move your left foot forward so you're in your 90-90 kneeling position. From 90-90 kneeling with your left foot forwards, let your right hand come to the ground and then sweep it off to the side so that your right hand is in the same line as your right knee. Your left hip is dropping, your left knee is forwards. The same move with the hand. So the arm leads the movement, followed by the nose, followed by the ribs to the floor. The arm leads the rainbow arc up to the ceiling, followed by the nose, followed by the breastbone. The arm leads, followed by the nose, followed by the breastbone. The arm leads up to the ceiling, followed by the nose, followed by the breastbone. Try to link this to your breath, either in or out, it doesn't matter. On the next time your hand comes to the floor, move both of your hands so that they're about halfway between your left foot and your right foot. Press your palms into the floor if you're able. If you can't press the palms in, keep up on your fingertips. And then just begin to slide yourself forwards and backwards into that left knee. You don't have to straighten the leg. The further away from your body that your hands are, the more gliding this will be around the back side of your hips. The closer, the less gliding it will be, but it might be easier for you. And then walk your hands back to the center. Bring yourself back up to kneeling, back up to standing. Close her down, turn your eyes, and once again do your body scan. How does your breath feel? What about your heart? Can you feel your heart rate? Inhale, take your hands out and up. Exhale, take your hands out and down. What does that feel like now? Is it different from the start? Last one, nod your chin towards your chest. Feel what your back body feels like. As you roll yourself towards the ground, stop before your fingers touch the floor. And then exhale and roll yourself back up again, just one vertebra at a time.